Hey guys, I'm CJ and this is TV Pop Culture for May 19th, 2013. And I magically have my hat on now because, because. So before we get into news, I have an email asking, Dear CJ and TV Pop Culture, could you please do a History of Comics episode, okay, I think you mean a History of Comic Heroes episode with Magneto. Well, we are planning on doing one within the next few weeks or so once our 1990s theme has kind of run its course. So once that is over, then yes, I'll be more than happy to do one on Magneto. And of course, in case some of you couldn't tell, we're having kind of a, I guess, Marvel / X-Men type theme going on this episode. However, first, there is some video game news that I'd like to put forward. So, Injustice, Gods Among Us, and Arkham Origins will be getting Red Hood character, which was, in this version of the Red Hood, is the Joker before he became the Joker, along with Deathstroke as playable characters. Now, of course, the Red Hood character will be in Injustice, while Deathstroke will be in the Arkham Origins video game. So, with that being said, I know I, for one, definitely look forward to seeing those two characters. Next, we have EA has decided to kill online passes with this quote, which has been being spread around all these different video game websites. We've been listening to the feedback from our customers and have decided to do away with online passes altogether. However, is this really a good thing? Well, yes and no. For the meantime, up until all the next-gen consoles are on the marketplace, we don't really have to put up with online passes, which is great. However, the next-gen systems will have a new way to tell if there is a prepaid game. For example, whether it being through online transactions or through video recognition or disc codes or whatever, there will, chances are, be a way, maybe not right away, but there will be a way for companies like EA and everyone else to tell if a game is prepaid, which I think they're really hurting the marketplace for this. Because, think about it, every single gamer has bought at least one game that's been pre-played. With that being said, why are you doing this? I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, with that being said, single-player games will not have this feature on it because, well, duh, they're single-player. So games like Halo, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, all of those will have a little code embedded in the disc, and that'll be able to tell the machine, oh, okay, this has been registered on another console. Anywho, now that we've kind of pushed that stuff off onto the side, I have some news from Marvel, So, this week, Marvel held a press conference to discuss the series and its advance of the Heelfire Saga arc, which will be ahead of the Battle for the Atom event. The writer Jason Aaron, joined by editor Nick, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Low? Is that, yeah? Okay. To discuss the next arc, focusing on the rebellious teens in school. The team started by talking about the Heelfire Saga and the next major arc in the series before the battle. It takes over the whole X-Men line, so with that being said, chances are it's probably going to consume all new X-Men. Of course, with this being said, Wolverine and the X-Men, Cable and the X-Force, all the X titles. Aaron explained that this arc is to pay off for the character's threat that started way the hell back in issue 1 with the Heelfire kids, as well as X-Men from idle to husk, it's probably more characters than I've written in one single story in my life, said Jason Aaron. He also promised the debut of new students at the school alongside the heroes and villains. I'd say it's the biggest, craziest arc we've done in Wolverine and the X-Men. So, with that being said, I think we all have something to look forward to when it comes to this story arc. The story focuses on the arms race between mutants and the Sentinels being built by the Heelfire Club, who decided to escalate the long-seeming conflict by starting their own school to train evil, and I stress the quotes on that, mutant kids. They bring in a few characters from the student body of the Jean Grey School, as well as some new characters. For any of you who are not familiar with the Jean Grey School, that is the school mostly associated with Wolverine and the X-Men, because that is the school that Wolverine founded because unfortunately Jean Grey kind of bit the dust. And now that we've passed that, there's some Avengers 2 news. Yeah, I know it's kind of strange because we're still like 2 years away from it almost, but yeah, okay, so here we go. With the recent debacle, you can go look it up for yourselves, over some of the Avengers cast threatening to quit if they don't make a higher cut of the profits for the upcoming Avengers 2, there are obvious questions for the stars and fans alike as to who will be returning. And okay, I'm going to be honest, I'm hoping everyone returns, especially Thor, because he looks pretty awesome. And who won't be returning, of course. One of those cast members who doesn't know, but unlikely most of the others doesn't care, is Mr. Cool himself, Samuel L. Jackson, because he's Samuel L. Jackson. Jackson realizes the situation is out of his control and, as such, isn't really sweating it. And this is what he had to say. I don't know. They don't tell me that kind of stuff. All I know is I'm doing Captain America 2. It's being cool. The Marvel Universe continues to grow and get better. I think I have 4 or 5 pictures left on my 9-picture deal, so I will just keep showing up. But have no fear, Marvel header Kevin Finge, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, assured everyone that all the Avengers would be back intact for the second Avengers film. So what I'm taking from this is, I guess even if they have to replace the actors, I hope they don't, but if they have to replace the actors, they're still going to show up. And though he is not officially an Avenger, I am going to include Nick Fury in that group for the sake of argument. Granted, Finge said that before the salary negotiations blew up, but the money for both sides is too much and this project too big for them not to come to some sort of resolution relatively soon. So with that being said, yeah, I can't really see them complaining all that much. So, yeah. Okay, so first off, a few suggestions. My first suggestion is this issue right in front of me, All New X-Men, number 11, which just kind of blew my mind. You really... Okay, I know what everyone's thinking on who went to work with Scott. It's not who you think it is. Also, with that being said, I would like to recommend the newest issue for Age of Ultron, which is currently going on. And with all that being said, I'd like to show you guys these couple of images. The first one is of Angela, or Angelica, or however you pronounce her name, and her new costume for the Age of Ultron, which I believe she will be appearing in Book 10. I could be mistaken on that. And, of course, here I want to show you guys, now, when the Apocalypse version of Nightcrawler and the Astonishing X-Men Nightcrawler got killed off, I was pretty upset over the whole thing because Nightcrawler is one of the characters that introduced me to the X-Men, along with Charles Xavier and Wolverine and a bunch of other characters. And when the original Nightcrawler got killed off in the Second Coming story arc, I was kind of upset about it all. And then when these two got killed off in Extermination, I was a little upset. But if you look at this cover art right here, for one of the issues for the Heelfire saga, you see Wolverine out in front, and then a whole bunch of Nightcrawlers, or Nightcrawler-looking type characters, which look awesome. Now, okay, of course, this is kind of made the fanboy side of me be like, oh yeah, I have to go pick this up now. But with that being said, I'm kind of curious as to who these characters are. Are they Nightcrawlers from another universe? Are they the Nightcrawler type characters from that 1980s 4-issue miniseries that Nightcrawler was the star of, and they're like the little Nightcrawlers, and you know, all these other characters running around? He was a pirate, and then ninja, and then a pirate ninja. So I don't know, I'm really excited to see this. I'm hoping that this means the return of, if not the original Nightcrawler, then one of the other ones that we've lost. I'd also like to point out that even if that doesn't happen, either way, that issue looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be really cool. Like, even if they're just brand new characters Marvel thought up of, that's still really cool. So, with that being said, I don't know, I'm hoping that they're going to, you know, give some of the older fanboys like myself a little bit of, yeah, you remember that? Just for you. So, with that being said, I'm CJ. This has been TV Pop Culture for the week of May 19th, 2013. And unfortunately, this week there will not be a History of Comic Heroes due to the fact that the file that I was working on and editing became corrupted and I was unable to fix it. So with that being said, I'll see you all next week, and happy reading.